studied ethnic identity and prejudice towards ethnic and religious outgroups in Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka is an island off the southern coast of India with a population of about 20 million people. Sri Lanka experienced an ethnic war for 26 years. The conflict was between the Sri Lankan military, primarily comprised of the Sinhalese ethnic majority, and militants from the Tamil ethnic minority. As indicated in the pie chart, in the center column of the poster, the Sinhalese ethnic majority represents 72% of the population, and 94% of them identify Buddhism as their religion. The Tamil ethnic minority represents about 18% of the population, and 82% report Hinduism as their religion. Lastly, Muslims are about 9.5% of the population, and almost 100% follow Islam as their religion. Addressing a gap in the psychological literature, we use Turner et al.'s self-categorization theory to examine the interrelationships between in-group ethnic identity and both ethnic and religious prejudice towards outgroups in all three ethnic groups in Sri Lanka, in the historical context of Sinhala-Tamil ethnic conflict. In the social identity theory approach, researchers in several countries, including the United States, found that minority groups have greater ethnic identity than the majority group, perhaps because their identities are more salient in their everyday lives. Extending the literature to Sri Lanka, we hypothesized that Tamil and Muslim ethnic minority groups, would report greater ethnic identity than the Sinhalese majority ethnic group. Indeed, as seen in Figure 1, supporting the perspective of the social identity theory approach, this hypothesis was supported. Details of the analyses are in the results section of the poster over here. Regarding our second hypothesis, research using the social identity theory approach has found that intergroup attitudes and discrimination are partly influenced by the degree to which individuals identify with their own group, which is called the in-group. In this view, the more that individuals identify with their in-group, the more they demonstrate in-group bias, which could translate to prejudice towards other groups called outgroups under some conditions such as conflict. Within the social identity theory approach, Turner et al. Proposed the self-categorization theory to account for multiple identities within in-groups and out-groups, such as race and religion, and their influences on intergroup relations. As shown in the center column of the poster, hypothesis 2 is represented in three sets of triads. The first depicts the responses of the Sinhalese, the second that of Tamils, and the third that of Muslims. Given the history of protracted conflict between Sinhalese and Tamils, we hypothesized that affective religious prejudice towards the outgroup over here would account for the relationship between high in-group ethnic identity and affective ethnic prejudice towards the outgroup in Sinhalese and Tamils, but not Muslims, as they were the non-conflictual group. All components of this hypothesis were supported as indicated in the results section. As shown in the first triad, affective prejudice towards the dominant religion of the Tamil ethnic minority group, which is Hinduism, accounted for the relationship between Sinhalese people's ethnic identity and their affective ethnic prejudice towards the Tamil minority. Likewise, in the second triad, representing the Tamil ethnic minority, affective prejudice towards the dominant religion of the Sinhalese majority group, which is Buddhism, accounted for the relationship between Tamil people's ethnic identity and their affective ethnic prejudice towards the Sinhalese majority. As hypothesized and depicted in the third triad, representing the Muslim population, the preceding relationship did not hold due to their non-conflictual status at the time. Lending support to the multiple identities proposed in self-categorization theory, these findings indicated that religion is as essentialized as ethnicity, such that an outgroup's religion is conflated with their ethnicity in eliciting affective prejudice in relation to the in-group's ethnic identity among groups in conflict.